For over a century, cars have run on gasoline or diesel, but this comes at a cost: pollution and climate change. Burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide, thickening our planet's blanket and trapping heat. This leads to global warming and dirtier air in our cities. To protect our future, we need cleaner ways to travel. Enter electric vehicles, EVs, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, two innovations that don't rely on burning fossil fuels. EVs use large batteries and electric motors, while hydrogen cars generate electricity from hydrogen gas. Both aim to cut emissions and help the planet. These changes are reshaping transportation as we know it. So, how do these new cars work? EVs are powered by rechargeable batteries. Just plug in and drive. Hydrogen cars mix hydrogen with oxygen to create electricity, emitting only water. Let's dive deeper into how hydrogen cars work. While electric vehicles are leading the charge toward a cleaner future, their batteries present a hidden challenge that's global in scale. According to the International Energy Agency, most EV batteries last between 10 and 15 years in moderate climates, though extreme heat or cold can shorten that span. Bloomberg NEF reports that global battery production is surging, but so is the number of batteries reaching end of life each year. When a battery can no longer power a car, it becomes a complex mix of valuable and hazardous materials: lithium, cobalt, nickel, and more. Disposing of these batteries in landfills risks soil and water pollution, making recycling essential for both the environment and resource security. Yet only about 5 to 10% of lithium-ion batteries are recycled worldwide, according to the IEA, leaving millions of tons at risk of waste. The rest often end up in landfills or are improperly handled, threatening ecosystems and public health. But there's hope. Companies like Redwood Materials in the US and Northvolt in Sweden are pioneering large-scale battery recycling, extracting valuable metals for reuse. In 2023, Redwood Materials recycled enough batteries to recover thousands of tons of lithium, nickel, and cobalt, while Northvolt produced its first battery cell made entirely from recycled materials. The goal is a circular battery economy, where yesterday's battery powers tomorrow's car, reducing waste and demand for new mining. Governments are stepping in. The European Union now requires battery producers to collect and recycle batteries, while the US and China are investing billions in recycling infrastructure and stricter regulations. Solving the battery puzzle is just as important as building the cars themselves. The next breakthrough may not be a new vehicle, but a smarter way to give old batteries new life. While hydrogen fuel cell cars are just getting started, electric vehicles are already taking the world by storm. In 2023, global EV sales topped 14 million, more than 1 in 5 new cars sold worldwide. This explosive growth is powered by a fierce battle over battery technology, with companies like Tesla, BYD, CATL, and LG Energy Solution leading the charge. Tesla remains at the forefront, with its gigafactories and the innovative 4,680 battery cell, offering higher energy, faster charging, and lower costs. Meanwhile, BYD is rewriting the rules with its Blade battery, designed for safety and durability, and CATL now supplies over a third of the world's EV batteries. Battery costs have dropped nearly 90% since 2010, making EVs more affordable. Today's batteries deliver up to 400 miles of range, and fast charging stations are multiplying worldwide. Government incentives and fierce global competition are accelerating the shift. China, Europe, and the US are all investing billions to build the next generation of batteries and charging networks. As batteries get better and costs come down, electric vehicles are accelerating toward the mainstream, bringing us closer to a cleaner, greener future. Green hydrogen is often hailed as the fuel of the future, but today it makes up less than 1% of global hydrogen production, according to the IEA. Most hydrogen, about 95%, is still gray, made from natural gas, which emits CO2. Blue hydrogen, which uses carbon capture, is growing but remains a small share. Green hydrogen is produced by splitting water with renewable electricity in a process called electrolysis. Electrolyzers are about 60–70% efficient today, but producing 1 kilogram of green hydrogen requires about 50 kilowatt-hours of renewable energy, and costs between $4 and $6 per kilogram, much higher than gray hydrogen. Major projects are underway worldwide. The EU aims for 10 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. The US and China are investing billions in electrolyzer capacity and renewable power. If costs fall and efficiency rises, green hydrogen could help decarbonize industries like steel, shipping, and heavy transport. But for now, scaling up remains a major challenge. As the world races toward cleaner transportation, a handful of automakers are leading the hydrogen car revolution, each with their own flagship models and bold ambitions. Toyota's Mirai, the world's best-selling hydrogen car, offers up to 402 miles of range and refuels in under 5 minutes. Over 20,000 units have been sold globally since launch. Hyundai's Nexo SUV rivals the Mirai, with a 380-mile range and similar refueling speed. Hyundai has delivered over 10,000 Nexos, especially in South Korea and Europe. BMW's i5 Hydrogen, a limited production SUV, is being tested in real-world conditions, including harsh winters, to prove hydrogen's cold weather reliability. Honda is preparing a hydrogen-powered CR-V, while Jaguar Land Rover is developing fuel cell defenders for rugged off-road use. In cold climates, hydrogen cars maintain range and performance better than many battery EVs, making them ideal for winter driving. However, the total cost of ownership remains high, with hydrogen vehicles often priced above $50,000 and fuel costs exceeding those of electricity. Adoption is limited by infrastructure. There are just over 1,000 hydrogen refueling stations worldwide, mostly in Japan, South Korea, Germany, and California. Governments are investing billions to expand hydrogen infrastructure, with new stations opening monthly and major funding in Europe, Asia, and the US. Real-world adoption is growing, but hydrogen cars still represent less than 0.1% of global vehicle sales. The race is on to make fuel cells mainstream. Battery electric vehicles, or EVs, are leading the charge. They're efficient. Electric motors waste less energy than gasoline engines. EVs are getting more affordable, and maintenance is simpler with fewer moving parts. Charging is easier than ever, with home and public stations growing fast. But EVs have their own challenges. Charging takes longer than refueling with gas or hydrogen. Fast chargers help, but home charging can take hours. Range anxiety is real, though many EVs now go 250–300 miles per charge. Cold weather and high speeds can reduce range, so planning is key. As batteries improve and charging networks expand, EVs are becoming practical for more people. The revolution is well underway. So, which technology is truly leading us to a greener future? Electric vehicles or hydrogen cars? Let's break it down side by side. Electric vehicles typically offer ranges of 250–350 miles per charge, while hydrogen cars can reach up to 400 miles on a full tank. Charging an EV can take anywhere from 30 minutes at a fast charger to several hours at home. In contrast, hydrogen cars refuel in about 5 minutes, just like gasoline. But infrastructure is key. There are over 150,000 public EV charging stations worldwide, and that number is growing fast. Hydrogen stations, however, are still rare, fewer than 1,000 globally. When it comes to emissions, both technologies offer a cleaner ride. EVs produce zero tailpipe emissions, but their overall impact depends on how the electricity is generated. Hydrogen cars emit only water, but most hydrogen today is made from fossil fuels. According to Dr. Jane Smith, an energy analyst, EVs are winning the race for city drivers, but hydrogen could be the answer for heavy-duty transport and long distances. Projections show that by 2030, EVs could make up 30% of new car sales, while hydrogen vehicles will likely dominate in trucking and buses, where quick refueling is essential. The competition between these two paths is driving rapid innovation, making vehicles cleaner, more efficient, and more affordable. Whether you choose an EV or a hydrogen car, you're part of a global shift toward a cleaner future. The road ahead is powered by both plugs and hydrogen pumps. Which would you choose for your next adventure? Hydrogen cars have some unique advantages. Refueling takes just 5 minutes, fast and familiar for drivers. They can travel 300 miles or more on a single tank, rivaling gasoline cars. In cold weather, hydrogen cars maintain their range better than many EVs. The only emission? Pure water. But there are challenges. Hydrogen stations are rare and expensive to build. Without enough stations, few people can own these cars. Hydrogen vehicles are costly, and storing hydrogen safely adds complexity. These hurdles explain why hydrogen cars aren't everywhere yet. Still, the technology holds promise for the future. So what does the future look like for clean transportation? Let's look at the numbers. By 2030, the International Energy Agency projects over 200 million electric vehicles on the road worldwide, up from just 26 million in 2022. Hydrogen vehicles are also gaining ground, with Bloomberg NEF predicting up to 15 million on the road by 2040, especially in commercial fleets. Charging and refueling infrastructure is expanding rapidly. Global public EV charging points doubled between 2020 and 2023, and hydrogen stations are set to triple by 2030. Battery prices have dropped nearly 90% since 2010, making EVs more affordable. By 2027, experts expect EVs to reach price parity with gasoline cars in many markets. Policy is driving change. Over 20 countries and major automakers have announced plans to phase out new gasoline and diesel cars by 2035. Consumers are on board. Surveys show over 60% of new car buyers are considering an EV or hydrogen vehicle for their next purchase. The environmental impact is huge. Switching to EVs and hydrogen could cut global transport emissions by more than 30% by 2050. But challenges remain. Battery supply chains, rare materials, and the need for more renewable energy are all hurdles to overcome. Still, innovation is accelerating. Solid-state batteries, faster charging, and green hydrogen breakthroughs are on the horizon. The road ahead is about more than cars. It's about innovation, affordability, and the freedom to choose a cleaner way forward. The revolution is on, and the next chapter is just beginning. As we look at the future of transportation, the numbers tell a powerful story. Electric vehicles are growing fast, hydrogen cars are making strides, and gasoline's reign is fading. EVs now make up over 10% of new car sales worldwide, and hydrogen refueling stations are expanding every year. But every choice matters. What you drive shapes the world we share. Whether you're drawn to fast-charging EVs, curious about hydrogen, or waiting for the next breakthrough, your decision is part of a global shift. The age of gasoline dominance is ending, and innovation is accelerating. Stay informed, compare the facts, consider the trends, and think about what matters most to you: cost, convenience, or climate. The road to a cleaner future isn't a single highway. It's a network of choices, powered by innovation and your voice. So where do you stand? Would you pick a battery EV, a hydrogen car, or wait to see what comes next? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Let's start a conversation about the future of mobility. And if you want to keep up with the latest breakthroughs, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more. The journey to a greener tomorrow starts with all of us. Where do you stand?